And at the end of the day, it's like these huge tech conglomerates really run the music industry. So what we're really doing nowadays is we're making music for the tech companies and for the streaming platforms and the DSPs. Yet we just make the same music because we're serving a DSP, a platform that if we don't play by the rules, nobody's going to listen to our shit and we're not going to make any money. The Radium Podcast, episode 85. This is a special edition. We're bringing in the COVID times by going wireless and remote, and I thought it'd be cool to bring on a co-host here. So everybody give it up for Will, the Brazilian barbecuing vegetarian.
What's up, guys? I think you probably know me, but I'm here.
The crowd goes wild. So yeah, we thought it'd be fun, like, to get together, connect over Zoom, and shoot a bunch of random cameras and make things really complicated. So
yeah, because at the end of the day, I'm editing anyways, right? So
yeah,
why not?
Hey, Will's got to edit it, so we'll just throw a bunch of content at him, and he'll make sense of it.
Yeah. So
yeah,
what's going on?
Yeah, man, I wanted to get into this podcast especially. I wanted to really talk about some stuff in the music industry that is actually kind of interesting to me, and I think it might be interesting to the listeners as well. But I've been reading a lot about and kind of seeing like more prominent members of the music industry, i.e. Grammy award-winning, platinum recording, like multiple, going crazy, multi-millionaire songwriter artists doing their thing online and starting to teach courses and kind of the internet taking over in 2021. So I thought it'd be cool to like kind of chat about that, because it's such an interesting thing seeing like these huge music moguls doing, monthly.com songwriter courses.
Masterclasses.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And I think like, I don't know, what's your opinion on it? Because like, I wonder, from other people's perspectives, like, what does that do? Does it like kill the allure of your favorite, award-winning producer?
Yeah, it's interesting. I think definitely from an ego perspective, if you're the producer, probably have some ego issues with that. It comes down to also like how much you need that money or that business, that new source of income to your music. If you're someone like, I don't know, let's say a big producer out there, Mark Ronson, and he starts selling masterclasses at $9.99, probably will lose a little bit of his exclusivity of his work, So it depends also like how much they're willing to charge, like how the business model works, Right. Like I just recently signed up for Justice Masterclass on Mix with the Masters.
Okay.
And they're huge producers, like one of the biggest EDM names out there. And, I doubted they are doing for the money. I think they're doing for reach more people, and really pass it on. I think it also comes down to your goals as an artist or producer. If you want to share your knowledge, if you think you already reached a point in your career that you're good and you want to share your knowledge, I think it's totally viable.
Yeah, I think, I would definitely go off that, because here's the thing that sucks about the internet, right? Is that the internet ruins everything. It's like automatically, like the internet's gonna put a big judgy stamp on it, and why is this guy? He must not be making music. That's why he's making courses, And it's like, dude, what the fuck happened to like people wanting to share and tell stories around the fireplace and like, pass on traditions and train the new generation of people coming up? Like, all the internet is to me is just another way of communicating.
Facts.
It's like now we have a bigger communication pipeline where, like even this podcast, like I would have never, ever, if you asked me, thought that we'd make it to 85 episodes of the Radium podcast. But then also like how many, I was like looking at YouTube today and I was showing this to you. I'm like, dude, 500 and some, hours of view time in the last, 28 days.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, in the 500s, like almost 600 hours of watch time on YouTube. And I was like, for some people, they're like laughing at that. They're like, oh, wow, I get 5,000 hours of YouTube view time in a month.
Yeah, it's huge for us. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like, for me, it just seems like it's crazy, like the reach you can get on the internet. And I think like, the reason this whole topic came up to me is because I'm going through Ryan Tedder's songwriting course with monthly.com.
Mm-hmm.
And it's awesome, right? Like, it's like really cool. It's kind of like previously recorded, like he's going through the process of writing songs and, we're doing like 3 songs. But for me, I was like, yo, this is a great way for me to finish my own music, right? And it just kind of like, in COVID times, I don't have people coming through the studio, and it's just like, can't get to the studio and just like create and go, okay, we got deadlines and let's, get this thing done and we got to get the guitars tracked. So now it's just kind of like me on my own in my room. So it was really cool to be able to get into a group and have like just this kind of a structured map. Like today we're going to work on the lyrics. Today we're going to work on, let's arrange out the song, and I'm like, yeah, that's great. Because even as entrepreneurs and business owners and producers ourselves, like even if we are leaders and we know how to finish things, it's just super nice to have someone organizing that for us.
Yeah.
Just build a roadmap. So to me, I'm like, dude, I'm all for it. And I think it's honestly the future of where everything is going. And if you're not jumping on the online game and you're not doing masterclasses and monthly.coms and sharing your knowledge and your music experiences, you just believe in shortages. Like you straight up think like you got the secret sauce and you can't share it because everybody else will take it from you, and somehow it'll diminish you.
Scarcity mentality.
It's bullshit. And the truth is like, it's just such a sad thing. It's like, you think that if by sharing your experiences and what your knowledge, like all of a sudden everyone's going to take your job. Like you obviously lack confidence in what you're doing then.
Yeah. Yeah. It's one hit wonder mentality, right?
Facts.
And also I think it's really important for us to distinguish the type of the 2 models of the music e-commerce these days, right? So you have really, really good people and who knows what they're doing and they're willing to share in a very valuable program. And you have like people who are like 50% there or even less than that and start sharing in, making it look as, oh, I already know the path, just follow me. And then start selling courses of how to sell courses, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's hard. I think that's kind of like the way the internet ruins things, right?
Yeah.
It's like if you got a nice camera, and your parents bought you some nice audio gear, you too can make a course on how to produce hit records. I was like, bro, you never produced a hit record. Like most of the records you did never got over 1,000 streams on Spotify,
Yeah, but, you placed a drum loop and says you're a big time producer.
Yeah. Now you're a beat maker. You're a producer because you like put some splice loops together. So let me get my course for $49 on how to make beats.
Yeah.
So like that part does diminish a lot of things to me, but just like going back to the idea that like, these bigger producers, songwriters, I mean, even like Hans Zimmer did like a masterclass, right? Like for masterclass.com. And then, like you're saying Justice and all that, like it's your legacy, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think maybe the thing that is really like off-putting for people is that they're still thinking about the music industry from 1975.
Yes.
And like, you have to remember the music, it's just different. Like everything is shifted, right? Could you imagine in 1975 if they even had like an Apollo?
Oh my God.
Like, oh, why would we use the Fairchild? We'd just use the Fairchild plugin. You know, like we don't need to go to the studio. Like the Beatles would be like, you know, John Lennon, like everybody just working out of like their own whatever room, you know, and sending files over the internet. Like it would
the
be
Beatles
crazy.
With a sampler on the stage, you know, like
it's just a different
samples.
game, dude. Like it's so different, you know, and it's like you watch these you know, Netflix has this series now. You know, I forget what it's called. It's like dissecting the music or inside the song or whatever. Song Exploder, right?
Yeah.
And it's so cool. Like I'm addicted to that shit. I just like binge watched every single episode.
Right.
Just cause, you know, I'm a producer. I'm in music. Like music is like my lifestyle, right? So I was like, I gotta watch this. So I just like binged it all. And like, it's so funny to see, you know, these records that were made like in early 2000s, 90s, you know, and they're like, yeah, you know, we just decided we should probably put a string section on it.
Oh my God.
Like that just shows you how different the world was, right? Like, so we just got like a string section and then we had this great like string arranger, like make this happen. And then we just put it at the end of the song. It's like,
Could you
just
imagine?
did that? Like that was no big deal.
And probably many times they didn't even use that.
Yeah, exactly.
We
They're
decided
like,
not to put it into the track. It was just not enough.
It just didn't work.
Oh my God.
And it's funny because like back then it was like you would have got dropped from the label if you only went platinum.
Oh yeah.
You know, like you only sold 1 million records. Nowadays we're like, dude, I'm with platinum. It's like a huge ordeal. Like you're the biggest thing ever. Oh my God, you went platinum. Congrats, bro. That's insane.
That really clicked to me, like that difference of the music industry back then and right now. When I compare like Thriller, like the most sold, you know, record of all times, physical, and just the first Justin Bieber 1 billion stream on Spotify, you know.
So crazy.
The first time that he went 1 billion on YouTube, my God, it was like, oh my God, it's a total different level, you know.
It's a different world, man. And like, it's just nowadays, like to me, I'm like the tech companies, because they are the internet, they own the music industry, right? The Spotify, the Apple Music, the Amazon Music, you know. I mean, Tidal tried to come in and like play a role, but you know, they're very small in the market share. And at the end of the day, it's like these huge tech conglomerates really run the music industry. So what we're really doing nowadays is we're making music for the tech companies and for the streaming platforms and the DSPs, which is so interesting to me. It's like we now have distribution at our fingertips where we can just distribute, you know, put a song out, like, you know, set up our release, you know, go get the pre-save, market it ourselves, run Facebook ads, do whatever we want, build whatever kind of business we want in music. Yet we just make the same music because we're serving a DSP, a platform that if we don't play by the rules, nobody's going to listen to our shit and we're not going to make any money. You know, I think like, honestly, the music industry has completely ruined the art, like, especially nowadays. Like even back in the 70s, it was like, you know, the labels, they had all these opinions about the labels telling them what to do, etc. But, you know, no one was really telling Jimi Hendrix what to do. No one was really telling the Beatles what to do. Like, they were like, no, we're going to tell you what we're going to do with our album, you know? And nowadays it's like, yeah, go ahead and try that. You're going to fail miserably because there's no playlist that fits your music style, because you are now, your music belongs to this robot that is a tech company that is deciding what the taste is like of music. It's fucking ridiculous.
It's insane.
Yeah. So how could you blame Ryan Tedder for selling his music catalog and publishing? Why would you want to be in a music industry when the creativity's dead? Why would you want to be making music when you can't even make what you want to make? You have to make the new Drake sound alike or DaBaby sound alike or some bullshit that you don't even want to be making.
Yeah, facts.
And if you don't, you're not going to make a living.
Yeah.
You're like, I only got 1 million streams. Like, dude, okay, you made like, what, $5,000?
And it's so funny because the same industry that put that into place they also demand us to be creative, to be innovative, you know.
Yeah, just keep putting out records, guys. Just keep making more stuff. Release more.
One's gonna be super different, and it's gonna be on the Apple commercial. You know, what the fuck, you know, supposed to do with this? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, the echelon of the music industry success today in 2021 is you work your ass off to become a great musician. You work 10, 20 years on crafting music and songwriting and stuff because your biggest goal is to get on a Taco Bell commercial and sell a fucking chalupa.
Oh my God. The chalupa mango.
The Dorito chalupa, now featuring, you know, your stupid ass song that like nobody really cares about, which is really interesting though. Like that's the echelon of success now. It's like, oh bro, you're on a Gatorade commercial.
Yeah.
I never shared that
a little
shit.
bit gears here. What is your, what is the patterns you've seen like on 2020? You think they're going to keep coming on 2021? And also what is some prediction from this year? What do you think people should keep doing it? They're doing right, and they should stop doing right away.
Yeah, I think like the biggest thing for me that I see is consistency. It's like if you're going to be an artist, right?
Yeah.
And if you're not going to be an artist, don't be an artist. Like you have to commit to it, because the biggest thing is if you're not committed to releasing consistently records every month, promoting those records, standing by them, doing performances, getting on TikTok, doing the covers, you know, doing the guitars, the acapellas, the keyboard version, collaborating with other people, making content around the music, and keep pushing the music and writing new music and creating, then you're not going to go anywhere with your artistry. It's just, it's absolutely impossible in 2021. I think that that's going to continue to be a huge factor of people's success in the music business. If you want to be a producer, DJ that releases records and does remixes and does, you know, plays the festivals once this Corona stuff's over, you have to release consistently, and you have to be a human. Like, people don't care about your fucking logo. They don't care how cool you are. Like, it's not even a thing anymore. You know what I mean? Like, the people winning are the people that are showing behind the scenes who they are as a person. Their brand is connected to who they are, their family life, their dogs, what they do outside of music, right? And you know, that's literally how people are like connecting to them, right?
Yeah.
It's just, that's the music industry now. And everybody, you know, I mean, shit, when I was growing up doing music in, you know, early 2000s, late 90s, right? It was completely different. It was like, you know, we're talking Nirvana, we're talking garage rock was coming out, you know, alternative rock. Like, it was like, break the rules, be as cool as possible, do whatever the hell you want to do, you know, go against the system, is punk rock shit, right? And it was, but it was also like, people don't understand that was just very, very well branded. It wasn't really punk rock. Like, it was labels like designing this shit that made you feel a certain way. And it was music videos branding that content. And we didn't have all these social media things that gave you behind the curtains, where you kind of lose the allure of being an artist and being depressed and being so cool. And the only time you saw these artists were like on MTV interviews, right? Like Lollapalooza. Yeah, man, I don't give a fuck. I just broke my guitar. Yeah, rock and roll. You know what I mean? Now it's like, yo, dude, I'm eating a cheesy pizza, bro. It's pretty good. And also, I'm trying veganism. Veganism's going great. My shit looks way different.
Wow.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like the allure of being online. Like Jay-Z's not on Instagram. You know, Dr. Dre like has been in multiple interviews where he's like, yo, the social media thing like ruins the allure of being an artist. Like, that cool factor, that like behind the scenes, the magic. Because now it's like, well, okay, so how I get that sound is I open up the preset. It's really about nowadays going into 2021. It's being open, and it's being like, I'm a human. Here's what I like. Here's what I don't like. You know, like, you don't need to please everybody. You should make the music you want to make, and it's okay if it's not super popular right now, because you don't want to be this like copycat thrown into the pile of garbage where you get a deal finally and it's a shitty deal and nobody gets to hear your music. Like, just be an independent artist, be who you are 100%, and release consistently and create consistently and show people that you're serious and you're here to stay.
Perfect. Yeah. Yeah. I'm excited, man. I'm excited to see what 2021 has in store for us. And I know many things are going to change. Many people are going to be filtered out. Just this recently, right? Spotify just took down 1 million songs.
Yeah.
People bought it, everything. And I think it's great. It's great to establish the new rules of the music industry. You know, you cannot win if you cheat.
Yep. Yeah.
If you're cheating, you're not going to be a winner here. And I think it's awesome that they are. Of course, I don't agree with everything that Spotify does for artists in all these big platforms, because, as you said, they're tech companies. They're not worried about the creativity. They're worried about you keeping more time on the platform. But at the same time, I like this new policy of, you know, be real, do your effort, you know,
right.
Pay advertisement if you want to. You know, as any business, the music industry has this stigma of being, you know, a special business, but it's not. It's just a business like anyone else, any other else, and we should treat like that. So you need to invest money on advertisement. You need to take the finances accountable. Everything is the same as any other business. You know.
Oh man, like I would say, you know, being in a business, the hardest thing to do is understanding your goals. Like a lot of artists are like, I want to be a millionaire, right? But in order to be a millionaire or have $1 million company, you have to be investing hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yes.
So you want to make $100,000 a year in music, you got to invest 5 figures a year, every year, right? And that's the thing that is the great separator. It's the great divide. The artist that decides they don't want to pay for mixing, mastering, recording, studio stuff, they just want to get by with the bare minimum. They're going to do everything themselves. They don't want to pay the designers. They don't want to get the music video done. They just don't have the money or the budget. They're just going to keep putting out music and it's hopefully going to work, cross their fingers. They're going to have a really long road ahead of them that literally has absolutely no promises, but also I think it's going to play against them that they're not investing in themselves.
Yes.
Right. You know, like my favorite saying is like, those that pay attention. Right.
Yeah.
So if you're paying and you're investing in you, like one of the greatest investments I ever made was putting $100,000 into an education. And a lot of people are like, yo, would you go to school again and do that again? No, absolutely not. But the big thing that it did for me, it was a massive commitment. It was like, I'm putting $100,000 in that cannot be forgiven. Even if I go bankrupt, that $100,000 still has to be paid back to the student loans and federal government. And that's a massive commitment. That's like burning your boats, right? And for me, that's like, okay, I'm committed to this. Now I got to make it work. Most musicians and artists nowadays, if I talk to them all the time, I talk to them on DMs, I talk to them on the phone, I text, I talk to independent artists every single day. And my number one thing that I would say independent artists need to stop in 2021 or just quit music is coming up with excuses, not putting any money into themselves.
Yeah.
Bro, I don't have any money. The reason I haven't done this is because of this. Oh, I'm not releasing consistently because I ran into some personal issues, whatever it is, right? You're not committed enough. Like straight up, I got a divorce when I was going, I broke up with a fiance when I was going through school in the worst time of my life, trying to get through audio school because I'm in love with the sound and the music, right?
Yeah.
What if I was going through something personal, so I dropped out and I quit my dreams, you know? I couldn't do it. It's just nice. You're not committed. You don't care enough. It's always going to tell you, like, the people putting the money, the time, and the effort in, and the money is a huge part of it.
It is.
They're the ones winning because they're committed. They have teeth. They have skin in the game, right? Like they're like, I'm putting up thousands of dollars every month for my mixes, my masters. I'm investing because they know and they believe that their music is asset. It's asset. It's like building a business. It's like having stock in a company that they believe in. And if they don't believe in their music and they don't believe in their assets and their records and they don't believe that they're going to make it, they will not spend the money. They will not invest in themselves, and they'll find an excuse.
Agree. No, 100%.
And that's the issue right there. It's like, you don't believe in yourself. But see, everybody in business that actually is making a living doing music or doing their business, they know this already. They know that you're making excuses. They see right through your bullshit. So you're only lying to yourself. And the interesting thing about that is it's just delusional. It's just like, I'm an artist. No, you're not an artist. You're not an artist until you put out art consistently and you show people that art is your lifestyle. Otherwise, you're just a guy or a girl making art. I can go fucking draw on some wood outside. Am I an artist all of a sudden? No, it's a pastime. It's a hobby for me. I like to go paint every once in a while. I don't say I'm a painter.
Yeah.
You guys shouldn't be calling yourself rappers or singers or whatever if you're not going to commit to this. It's unbelievable to me, man. Like it's the only thing that people could just jump into and say, I'm an artist, I'm a rapper, I'm a singer, I'm a music producer. Dude, because you made some music with your computer does not make you a music producer.
Yeah.
It means that you produced some music. There's a big difference, right?
Could you imagine for a doctor saying that? Like, oh yeah,
I put a Band-Aid on someone. I'm a doctor.
I like to operate some people once in a while.
I mean, I don't do it consistently, but I took out a guy's, took out his throat like the other day. So you're a thoracic surgeon? No, I guess I'm a thoracic surgeon. I did it I did it a couple times.
Twice, yeah.
It's just like, it's a wide open industry, and it's like, you just have to call it what it is. If you're a hobbyist, you're a hobbyist. You love making music. Big deal.
And
say
it's okay.
That.
Yeah, people have that issue with hobbies, Yeah,
it's weird.
But just embrace it, man. Like I probably would be happier right now if music was my hobby instead of my career, because I would have just way more fun with it. Right now it's not as fun as I want it to be. Of course, I have bigger goals for it, but a hobby is just where you draw your entertainment from.
Facts.
So
you know what? I would give like this advice to you, like you directly will, because of what you just said. I would say that you need to find something in music that you can just treat as a hobby and not a business.
Exactly. Yeah.
And like honestly, I found a lot of fun and re-energizing my love for music by writing songs again and recording as a vocalist.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Because I'm a music producer, composer, and an engineer. That's what I do. I engineer other people. I mix and master, and I do this, right? And that's my living, and I make a living off of it. But like, and I've synced records and stuff that I've sang on and wrote and all that, but it hasn't ever been like my career, right?
Right.
So for me, I'm like, dude, how do I find fun shit to do with music? Write songs,
Yeah.
It's like for you, grab your guitar and play some songs and record some songs and just share them with people. I think like we're weird in the music industry. We feel like if we're going to write something, it's got to be, we're going to release it. We need a release plan. We need a strategy. It's like, no, you just treat it like a hobby,
Sure.
Just have fun with it. It's okay.
Yeah. No, 100%. And I do. That's why I have my project, despite of all the things I do in music, right?
Yeah.
So I work with Radium. I work with other artists, but I also have my project where I can
do whatever,
creative and take the decisions I want to do. If I want to play the piano with my elbows and and random mixes, I'll do it just because it's my hobby. It's my decisions.
I heard, and maybe this is just hearsay, but I heard you play the piano with more than just your elbows.
Oh man, I have a third.
I got a third elbow.
A third arm.
He's got a third elbow. Whatever. That's
Yeah.
not even a thing. I don't think.
This show is PG-13. Come on, man.
Yeah. Well, we already dropped the F-bomb a couple times, so.
And drinking beer and.
This isn't beer. You can't tell. It's just root beer.
Okay.
Root beer. Delicious root beer. Sponsored by Radium.
Awesome. And but yeah, I think
can we get a beer like a Radium beer?
Radium beer?
Oh.
Radium brew.
All right, who's down? Who's made it this far into this bullshit conversation and is down to brew a Radium beer for us? Maybe we do like a Radium Red, like a Radium Red Ale.
Red Ale, yeah.
Who's down? Hit me up, Bradley at radium-media.com. But yeah, man, I honestly, I'm really liking this. I think this is a great idea. We should definitely do this much more often. And guys, we'll bring on some guests as well. Like,
yeah,
we could even do it like where it's you and me and another guest, right?
For sure. Yeah.
That'd be fucking fun. Like, I get so tired of just like being in my room, making music alone, editing stuff alone. I like talk to my dogs like they're real children now.
Yeah.
Or they're like little weird fucking furry like aliens like that understand my emotions. Yeah, crying in the shower and just all sorts of stuff, man. It's depressing. Like I'm drinking beer and it's like it's barely 4:00. But you know what? Like honestly, we were talking about this earlier. It's like I go to bed at like 9 now.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, oh well, I'm gonna get up at 5 a.m. I should go to bed now. The sun's down.
Thanks.
Yeah. But yeah, man, this is great. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Radium Podcast, episode 85. I mean, that's 85 episodes. What do you think about that, Will? You were a part of, damn near half of them, right?
Yeah, I was behind the cameras most of the time. I think since episode, I'd say 50 something.
That's wild.
Yeah, I've been behind the cameras and editing and doing all those stuff. And I think there's a lot of value. Like, I met you because of the podcast. I met Kevin because of the podcast. I met Radium because of the podcast.
And
so
Max Margot, Esper, right?
Yeah, Esper.
So many people come through a Radium.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's it's a value that you cannot find everywhere. About this topic, about music industry, music business, everything music, the way we talk, the way you guys, that we present information, and I think it's great. I'm happy to be in front of the cameras now, to be honest.
Yeah, man, it's cool. I think we'll definitely do a lot more episodes like this. And you guys drop a comment here and let us know what you want us to talk about on this podcast, because a lot of the times I'm like, the podcast is finally my opportunity to just be able to be myself rather than like, here's a tip of the day, or here's a plugin of the week, or, like where it has to be like edited and it has to be something where, new viewers can follow along, and like, sometimes it's technical. So it's like, you can't just goof around and drink beers, but,
no, absolutely.
Yeah, this is definitely my time to, be able to just chat and be, free about it, speak freely about whatever. But let's get this going on Spotify and stuff, right? Well, like we got to get this up on Spotify and everywhere. Why not? Everywhere you want to be, the Radium Podcast. We could use that.
I can even deliver like USB sticks directly to their house.
Yeah, dude. We'll go down to Venice.
Will Martin's music on Instagram.
Yeah, right. Hit me up, DM me, follow me on myspace.com. Follow me on what are like the music streaming sites of old, like
oh my god, I used to have Orkut. You remember that?
What is that?
Orkut.
Orchid.
Orkut. So ORQUT. Orkut.
Oh, I've never even heard of that.
Oh my god, it was so big in Brazil. But anyways, yeah, that was the thing before Facebook.
I remember LimeWire.
LimeWire is for music, right?
Yeah, well, LimeWire was just basically like stealing shit offline. Like, what can I find for free, bro? It's funny too, like when you download all the free shit, you don't actually like listen to it or respect it or give a damn about it.
Yeah.
I think that's like a big issue, right? But before we get into that, we'll save that for episode 86.
Yeah, let's save for 86 and on.
Yeah, well, thanks, guys. Thanks for tuning in. This was the Corona edition. I'm sure we'll have many more Corona editions, featuring Will, the Brazilian barbecuing vegetarian. It's like, how are you a vegetarian and you're Brazilian? How's that work?
I'm not a vegetarian anymore since the beginning of this year.
See?
So, yeah, but I've been for 2 years. I saved a lot of lives.
You saved a lot of chicken lives.
Yeah, but I'm killing again, so I'm sorry, guys.
Jeez, he's back to hunting. Barbaric. All right, you guys.
At Bradley HD.
Oh yeah. Go follow me on Instagram at Bradley HD. Get Will at Will Martin's Music, right?
That's the one.
That's the one. Hit us up, DM us, ask us questions about love, finances.
Fitness. I'm the fitness guy.
Will is huge on fitness. He's got pecs of a god. They're like rock solid. He's always showing them off. Like when we're working, I'm like, dude, this is weird. You're gonna get me sued if you keep taking your shirt off while we're filming.
Oh my god! Don't watch Soothe 2.
Do not watch any of our content. You're not gonna like it. Like what if that's how every YouTube video should end. Don't watch this. Don't subscribe to the channel, and please give us a thumbs down.
Oh god. And people probably would do the opposite, so we should try that.
Yeah, it could work. There's a lot of haters out there. But we love you guys.
All right, guys.
Click all the stuff and